Ciao, everybody. Welcome back to another JuveCorner cast video, everybody. We are finally done with this game already. 4-4, Inter 4, Juventus 4. And I have my buddy here, Julian. What's happening, man? What's happening here? What's going on, everybody? Say hello to the chat.
Hey, Gio. Nice to meet you. Finally meet you face to face. It's great to be here. We have so much to cover because my goodness, what have we just witnessed today?
Yeah, no, it's definitely, like I said, Julian, it's definitely a crazy game. Crazy game. But what did you think about the thoughts so far? I mean, the first couple goals in the first half were pretty crazy.
No, I mean, it was pretty intense. I think no cultural expert, all the pundits, nobody could have predicted such a high goal scoring game, especially we were literally just speaking the other day, and we gave such low goal scoring predictions because, as expected, you would think that the Juve Inter Derby d'Italia affair would be far more cagey, defensive minded. But nobody would have predicted 4 goals in the first half. A record-breaking match where the highest goal-scoring Derby d'Italia in history. First time ever that there were 4 goals scored in the first 45 between Inter and Juve. So it was mind-blowing,
Yeah.
absolutely insane.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree because with right, it's going into the Derby d'Italia, right? You're going, usually it's a low scoring, especially when we had Allegri on our team. It was always a
For
corto
sure.
muso, corto muso every time. But 4-4, my God, 4-4, 8 goals in this game.
Yeah.
But the craziest part is how Juventus also managed to come back from 2 goals down, which that to me, I thought that when Inter scored, that you guys are going to win. But my God, what Kenan Yildiz? What do you think about Kenan Yildiz actually for a second? Like, what do you think?
It was interesting. I was expect many people. I think many people were stunned. First of all, by Inzaghi, Motta's selection, starting McKennie over Yildiz. Uh, but I think maybe he was trying to uh, compete with Inzaghi's depth, like not trying to put all his best players at the starting, hoping that maybe keeping Yield as a little trick up his sleeve to try to change things off in the second half, and it really paid off. I think Thiago Motta's read of the game was superb. Kenan Yield is coming off the bench and scoring a brace to inspire such a monstrous comeback win. 2 phenomenal goals as well. I think Summer could have done better in the second one, but such a tricky winger. Very agile, strong technically, and clinical as well. Showed great composure in both of those goals.
Yeah. We have to also talk about Inter too because you're an Interista, right? So we have to talk about Mkhitaryan for you guys. Like that goal that he scored for you guys, that was really, really world class. I have to say, with the tiki taka, that's what they're saying, tiki taka and Zaki Limone ball, as a lot of people say. But yeah, tell me, what do you
Yeah,
think?
no, I mean, to be honest, I was a little bit shocked that the Mkhitaryan was going to start the match. I thought maybe Aslani would get the goal since he's considered the vice Çalhanoğlu, but reportedly because of injuries, him not being 100% match fit, they decided to start Barella as the holding midfielder, like we saw him play against Roma and the Young Boys, and decided to slot Mkhitaryan. At first, Mkhitaryan was playing pretty horrible, to be honest. Very slow defensively. He got exposed by Conceição. The second goal was sluggish in transition, but then that was like out of nowhere. That was remarkable and lovely. That was typical Inzaghi ball. Lovely 1-2 combination. The movement was so fluid, and Mkhitaryan just danced his way around the Juve back line. It was absurd because Juventus, who have been so solid defensively, were caught ball watching, and not one player was stepping up to try to close down the space. It was just far too easy for Inter, and Mkhitaryan shot it perfectly with his left foot to slot it past Michele De Gregorio to
Yeah.
make it 3-2.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have been saying that, Zelensky, why hasn't he been showing up, for the Interista, right? He's been talking about that. And also Lautaro Martinez. What's going on with Lautaro, man? Because he's supposed to be, he was capo caniniere last season. He goes into this season with full confidence after the, an insane Copa America for Argentina. So, I mean, what's happening? What do you think is happening with Lautaro Martinez and why he hasn't been showing up?
It's funny because it was such a high scoring game, but yet both strikers were
Yeah,
pretty poor today.
yeah,
I mean, apart from Vlahovic's goal was pretty much a gift, pretty much all created by McKennie,
yeah,
with that lovely gift of McKennie into the box. But besides that, both strikers were quite horrific, to be fair. But
yeah.
in all honesty, no, Lautaro. I mean, I think we all everybody expected more from Lautaro Martinez, given his record in the last season against Juventus. Everybody expected him to step up. And I was surprised that he was kept on the field so long. I think Inzaghi's subs were read of the game. His subs were quite poor, and I think it was kind of the factor that caused Inter to lose the game. I think because just as they scored to make it 4-2, Dumfries found the in the back of the ball in the back of the net from the corner.
Mhm.
It seemed like at that moment Inter were quite compact defensively and they were well balanced. But then all of a sudden you take out Zielinski, who was playing very well. You take out Pavard, who was playing solid defensively. It seems like Pavard got pulled out because of yellow card, and then from there it went downhill. And I think Taremi had to come on sooner, but I was surprised that Lautaro was still playing because he didn't really offer much offensively, and he had so many chances to close off the game. This was a match where it was a little bloodbath. This match, and it was a match where you had to finish your chances because um, I assume because I felt like if Inter would have closed that game off sooner, I don't think Juventus would have crept back into this, but.
Yeah,
Rightfully, deservedly so. They demonstrated great character, Juventus, to obtain the two goals to climb back into the match
yeah,
for sure.
yeah. No,
But
I agree.
in reference to yes, but so just to finish
Mhm.
up in reference to Lautaro, pretty poor. Had to finish those opportunities.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you. With Lautaro's form, and not just that, but Juventus's character, like you just mentioned. With to really come back from two goals down. If a past Inter, like Scudetto winning Inter, wouldn't have let that happen.
Yeah,
And that's also a thing. And also, I think that the Chananoglu as well was big, in effect as well because he wasn't there. But we could say the same thing with Coop Miners, right? We could say the same thing with Nico
for sure.
Gonzalez. But I think that defensively, I think Juventus, if we started maybe Gatti, we probably would have had a little bit more solidity. I think because when he entered the game, Inter didn't score. You know, and that I think Motta should have realized at halftime because I would have done that as soon as halftime happened. Gatti in, Danilo out because Danilo was a disaster for Juventus, disaster, man,
Yeah,
disaster.
no, far from his usual self. I think we're starting to see that he can't really play in a back four. I mean, he reached his peak on the Allegri in a back three, but in a back four, he's quite disastrous. And it was unfortunate because I think Kalulu was playing pretty well up until that. I think that penalty really caught him off guard. The
Yeah.
penalty that he gave away for Dumfries, I think that mentally ate him up and was still was struggling mentally to cope with that and overcome that moment. And since then he wasn't able to play out of the back. Thuram and Lautaro kept catching him off guard with the press. But I totally agree. I think Danilo had to have come off sooner. Then he was on a yellow as well against Thuram. He was getting beat
Yeah.
time and time again from Marcus Thuram.
Yeah, and that's one
For
thing I
sure.
was fearing is that, because we've seen it in the past with different strikers of, Danilo getting beat, for example, 2 seasons or a season ago, with Oshiman, right, from Napoli, right? He
Yes,
always kept on getting beat from him, and not just that, but Thuram is this, typical, same type of player that, as soon as he beats you, that's it. You're not coming back from that, and that was one of the biggest things as well. But let's read some comments in the chat because there is some comments in the chat.
absolutely, absolutely.
Um, Nitraus, he says that Danilo should never play again. I agree. Giuseppe Umbrello, Ciao, my friend. He says, ciao, fratello Juventino, sempre Forza Juve. Okay, yes, fino alla fine. That's right. That's right, my friend. Says, 2K champion says Danilo should never touch the field for Juventus again. No, I agree because honestly, he's just not there. He's just not there. He's just
No,
washed. A lot
for
of people
sure.
are saying that. 2K champion also says explore free agents ASAP. Who are you gonna get for a free agent? Come on. Come on, who are you gonna get now? We missed out on Hummels. We missed out on Hermoso.
Right.
There's nobody. There's nobody, man. Anthony, ciao, my friend. It says, ciao, guys. One of the highest scoring Derby d'Italia games ever in the history of Calcio. Yeah, yeah. What a game it was today, man. Giuseppe Umbrello again says, we got to thank our Turkish delight Yildiz. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Maple Dave, what a match! Yes, what a match, my friend.
Indeed. You could say that again.
Yep. Oh man, like I couldn't believe it. Just how the way that it was just like back and forth pinpoint of like Inter just pressing us, and then after that Juventus just like controlling the game at the end. But
Yeah, no,
it's
no.
crazy. Anthony says again here says Zielinski stepped up too with the two converted penalties. Yeah, he did. You know that was also
Yeah,
a thing. What do you think
I
about
don't know, a little
Zielinski?
bit. Yeah, no, I think he played very well. I think he should be getting more minutes. I don't really think Mkhitaryan should be getting that starting role again. But Inzaghi seems to love Mkhitaryan, and rightfully so, because I was quite furious with him defensively on the second goal, but yet he just pulls such a goal filled with individual brilliance to tie it up for Inter. And so, but I think Zielinski should be getting the start by all means, and I'm not sure how Zielinski got subbed off before Mkhitaryan. It's beyond me. But he did really well. He just stepped up. It was he scored his first brace. That was his first goal for Inter since joining on a free agent from Napoli. And usually it's Hakan Çalhanoğlu, the penalty kick taker. So I was a little bit overwhelmed. So he did very well against Michele Di Gregorio to score twice against him from the spot.
Yeah, speaking of Napoli, which we'll talk about later in the show, Napoli, 5 points, 5 point lead now,
Yeah.
I think. Me,
Yeah.
5 to 4 because I think Inter's
4.
1 point. Yeah, 4 for you
4.
guys, 5 for us. But yeah,
Yes.
guys, Napoli with Conte with one competition. I've been saying it. It's definitely gonna be crazy for the season. But we'll see what happens. But we have to let's read a little bit more comments. It says Anthony says Yildiz and McKennie were two of the Juve's best players on the pitch. Yeah, I could say that. I see that.
Yeah.
In terms of Yildiz though, Yildiz was I think the best player coming off the bench. We could say that. Yildiz
Yeah,
was the
I
best
know, but I
player coming
think
off the bench.
that substitute was
Yeah.
game changing.
Yeah.
But I think Mota got it pretty well, spot on, like his selection. I mean, McKennie was a question mark. Everybody was stunned that McKennie was starting, and he got 2 assists. Timothy Weah started on out wide. There was some question marks about that. He scored the goal to make it 2-1, and Yildiz literally took the game on his shoulders and inspired the Bianconeri draw to keep them well within the title race. They're only
Yeah.
5 points behind, so it was an important point for Juventus, very important.
Yeah, and we also have another comment as well from Anthony as well. It says that this was a very open game.
Far too open.
Yeah, very. I would say that, but I would say that too. You know, both teams, I'll say Inter and Juve, do very well in an open game like that. That's why we have so many goals. So, Reno says, "Screw Danilo. Thanks to him, Inter scores." I mean, hey, but Kalulu, hey, remember Kalulu also did that penalty, and that was atrocious. That was really bad defending. But Dave says, when you said special guest, I didn't know that you meant the Inter special. Hey, listen, we have to show some love as well. I love also chatting with the Interisti. Also, I want to see their opinion as well because I also think that Julian is also very I would say neutral, but also he's also an Interista as well. But he knows it from a reality standpoint, which I think that's what I love about Julian as well, and that's awesome. Awesome. Listen,
Thank you, Gio. I appreciate it.
no problem, man. No problem. But definitely Reno laughing at the comment for sure. Anthony says Danilo's time at Juventus is done after the season. Yeah, they're saying that he's gonna be leaving on a free. I believe he's gonna be leaving.
Yeah.
it's time. It's time for Danilo to say goodbye to Juventus. He's just not that good of a player in the back four. He was good with under Allegri, but he's just not it anymore, guys. So definitely needs to change on that. Um, who else? So we got Lamb Chop, Market we got like and subscribe to this channel. Very informative. Yeah, no, like I said, everybody that's new here, make sure to like and subscribe, and also follow Julian, Calcio with Julian on Twitter. Everybody on
Thank
X.
you, thank
So
you.
make sure
Appreciate
to
it.
do that, man, because telling you guys if you want to keep up with the latest news and latest everything, just like go follow him as well with everything that runs around Calcio as well. So go follow him on Twitter. And also, if you're new, subscribe to our channel. We give you all the daily news about Juventus, everything. So lots of content also coming your way. So definitely, I mean, Julian, what did you think about my channel so far? Like, it's been 2 months. It's been 2 months of the channel. Of the channel being created. What do you think so far? Has it been doing well?
No,
What do you think?
I think it's been great, very informative. I've been seeing you've been quite interactive with the whole cultural community, and like I joined the cultural community like two years ago, like, and I honestly, it's amazing. Like I just love meeting people like you and others. We all share the same love, and like we do it just to try to bring people together. And I think what you're doing is great, and just keep going. You already you gained so many subscribers in such a short amount of time. So just being consistent with it and meeting different people to have their opinions, it's gonna attract more and more interest and the interactions. And at the end of the day, I think what matters the most is as long as we have fun with it, that's
Yeah.
what matters the most. Because it also feels like uh, when it feels like work, then it's not fun anymore. As long as just having fun, and we do this at the end of the day because we love culture. I want to try to meet people across the world who share the same love as we do. So
Exactly, and that's why I invited you on the show as well because
yes,
even though you're an Interista, listen, I
no,
love
no,
it. I love it. Listen, listen. I love meeting new people. I love getting to know like how they became a Calcio lover. And also it's also good to also hear different opinions other than Juventini.
right,
You know what I'm
rightfully
saying?
so, yeah.
And that's why I actually wanted to come let you come on, and it's awesome. It's a pleasure for you to be on our show. Honestly, it's a
No,
really
no,
really big pleasure, man. It's a big pleasure, and I'm really
well, no,
happy that
thanks
you're
for the
here.
invite. It was
Yeah.
great. I was so excited, especially right after the game. I was thrilled
Yeah.
to hop on because
Yeah,
there's just
no,
so
it's
much.
like so much to talk about, and there's still a lot
Yeah,
more to talk about. Especially, we
yeah,
have to talk about Napoli, right? We have to talk about even sneaky Milan. We have to talk about Roma. That's about to play in a couple minutes. Actually, I think
right.
they're about to play soon. But we have to talk a lot. There's so much to talk about, my friend. There's so much to talk about, and let's read a couple more comments. So we got Lamp Chop says, "Let's get to 500 subs. Let's go, everybody. So like and subscribe if you're new." Forza Juve, my friend, says Yildiz is greater than Yamal. All right, all right, all right, all right. Don't go, don't go. Come on, listen, Yildiz. I love Yildiz, but like I said, he's come up big in today's game. But we have to. He just needs to be a little bit more consistent, like Yamal. Yamal has actually already won stuff already. He's actually already, I would say, been scoring a lot more too. But I would say that he's up there with them in terms of the young generation. I think that Yildiz is definitely up there.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think Yildiz is probably the biggest well, arguably the biggest prospect in the Serie so this season thus far.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Forza Juve again says, does anyone actually rate Lautaro? Every time I watch him, he's ghosting this season. Listen, I mean, we talked about Lautaro a little bit before. I mean, listen, it's definitely, concerning for you guys, right? That he's not
Right.
been scoring. But listen, on the other side, guys, Duram is scoring for them. So listen, if it's not going to be one striker scoring, they got another scoring. So listen, I don't think it really matters too much. But in terms of, I think, quality, in terms of the big moments, I think he's ghosting in those big moments, and that's not
Yeah,
that's
I
not
totally
good.
agree. I think it is. I mean, it is concerning to a certain extent because I mean, it's good. Like Turam is scoring and he is providing a lot offensively, but at the same time, it's like on an off game, like you need the other striker to perform as well. And I think at this point, at this stage, it's quite concerning in the sense that now it seems like Turam is overtaking Lautaro as the number one, the true bomber of the team per se.
Yeah, yeah, 100%, 100%. We have Anthony again. He's actually a Milanista. He said he said I know for a fact that we at Milan are going to have to win versus Napoli at home to keep ourselves in the title race. Not just that, but I think that you guys have to win to keep everybody else in the title race.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
So especially how I would say that Napoli are in form, right? They are
Right.
really like they're grinding out the games, but I want to see them against a top opposition, which is
Yeah.
going to be like against an Inter, right? We against a Milan, against
Yeah.
a Roma, for example, somebody that can really cause them trouble because like I said, versing Juventus early in the season, you can't really judge until maybe the second time when we verse them away. That's when you have to
Yeah.
judge. And I said this a lot of times, Julian. I said that you know we won't see the real Juventus to at least December, January. We won't see the real Juventus really. It still flashes like we saw today now, right?
Yeah.
But it's like I said, it's getting there. It's getting there. We just need to
Yeah,
trust
it's
in the
because a lot of the
process.
new signings still haven't played consistently with each other. Like when Juve faced Napoli, like I believe the window just closed and like everybody just arrived. Like everybody just
Yeah.
arrived, barely gelled together, and like had to play such an important, high intense match. And then even now, like as the season played out, Nico Gonzalez got a series of injuries. Coop Miners just got hurt, so they haven't gelled consistently. Like there's not much of a continuity going on between the players, so it's gonna take a little bit of time for sure. But it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah, we got a couple more comments as well from Lamb Chop. Lamb Chop says Yildiz had an impressive performance. Yes, we talked about Yildiz
Yeah.
before, but Reno says Anthony Milan ain't winning anything. I mean, listen, I don't see Milan. Honestly, I'm sorry, Anthony, but I don't see Milan winning. Maybe the Coppa Italia, but I don't see them winning the Scudetto. I'm sorry, man. I don't see them winning. Not yet, anyway. They would have to really come back, and they would have to if they're going to really challenge for the Scudetto, they have to beat Napoli. That's the only
Yeah,
way. They have to beat Napoli.
I think this midweek match against Napoli would be a huge statement if they pull that off.
Yeah, and remember, Anthony, no Theo Hernandez, and I forgot the other guy who's missing for that match. No Theo because he on a suspension, and somebody else I don't remember. But
Gabia, I think Gabia's injured.
yeah, it's another blow. Gabia, they're one of their best defenders, I think, this season. Gabia, so definitely, man. It's gonna be tough. We got another Giacomo's here. Ciao ragazzi, da Canada, also from Canada as well. Forza
Nice.
Juve, the best game in 10 years. I mean, in terms, I think of the Derby d'Italia, yeah. In terms of a neutral
Yeah.
standpoint, one of the best. One of the best.
Oh, for the neutrals, this was great.
Yeah. Oh
But
yeah.
like, if you want to rate Inter's and Juventus performance, like in terms of tactics, all the tactics went straight out the window. Like, it was just a
Yeah.
bloodbath.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah. Reno says Milan are not consistent. 100%, 100%, because we've been seeing it. FS17 says Danilo being in the lineup was scary. He keeps fun. I said this in the beginning of the game. It's very scary when you
Yeah.
saw him against Stuttgart. It's very worrying. But we haven't won. I don't think we've won a game. Juventus haven't won a game since since Lazio now. So definitely we have to start. I mean, I would say it's a not bad. It's a proud performance, but in a positive, especially how we managed the situation. But still the league, the defense, I think in the back is just a big problem. We need to fix that for Juventus. Same thing goes
Yeah,
with Inter. Same thing goes
yeah, I
with
was gonna
Inter.
say both sides. I think it's concerning. I think Inter should not have conceded 4 goals against a club that's struggling to score. Like, that was struggling to score like all season, and especially when you're up 4-2, you have to find a way to close the game. You got to be mentally strong and close out the game to obtain those 3 points. And for Juventus, I think, but I think for Juve, like you should be thrilled. Showed a lot of character to come back into that match, and yeah, I mean, definitely frustrating, of course. Being the best defensive team to give away 2 sloppy penalties is irritating because I think those were like mental errors and mistakes that we didn't really expect in such a high caliber game, and especially from the best defensive team in the league for sure.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. Especially like, not just that, but like, I'm gonna ask you a question, Julian, and I want you to, tell me like now, especially because of how our defenses are like, leaky. I want you.
Right.
So, what do you think about Inter's Champions League run? Do you think that they're gonna get to the knockouts, or do you think that they're gonna win possibly win, get to the semis? Like, what do you think about Inter's?
I don't think so because it's just too. Not only are they too leaky defensively, but like we just can't like hold off like these like I just feel like mentally, like we're just not strong enough to close out games in the last week. Like last year's Inter was one of the main reasons why I think we won the title was just how strong Inter were mentally. Like they had an outstanding record of going so many amount of games consecutively without conceding a goal in the last 15 minutes. And this year it's went completely down the drain, and we're only like 9 games in, and we've conceded more goals in the last 15 minutes compared to all the entirety of last year. So like to me, that shows that there's a lack of mentality, there's a lack of focus, and like Inzaghi needs to address that. And also like the drop off between Acerbi and De Vrij is insane. I mean, De
Yeah.
Vrij was really poor. He played really well against Roma, but my goodness, today against Juventus, he was quite shaky. The second goal,
Yeah.
he was out of position. The first goal, he was out of position and failed to track back. The second goal, he lost total awareness of where Timothy Weah was and kept everybody on side. It was total disaster.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree because it's like Bastoni's supposed to be that guy to really, I would say, be one of the guys to create for Inter, today, and he actually didn't. I didn't really see him going up as much.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Dimarco today? Do you think
No,
that he played?
I
Yeah,
think Dimarco played well. It was just a little tough because Conceição is such a tricky
man,
little
yeah,
winger, and Dimarco isn't that strong defensively. Although he provides a lot offensively and he has great pace. I mean, defending one-on-one is one of his weaknesses, which is why it's just unfortunate Inter didn't have Carlos Augusto, because I think Carlos Augusto could have helped try to neutralize Conceição on the wing. But it is what it is, and. I mean, yeah, we move.
yeah. No, I agree. 2K Champion says Parma is already close. Close. I think that's against Roma, if I'm not mistaken. Are they versing Roma? Let me check. Because if Roma are losing,
Roma are losing 1-0. Moise Kean with the goal.
oh, it's Fiorentina. Wow.
Yeah, Fiorentina got the lead. This is really bad for
Oh
Roma.
man, Roma's a disaster class, man. Ever since they sacked Di Rossi,
Yeah.
that's it. Because they, like I said, they just renewed a coach. They're the coach like not too long ago in the summer, and then they ended up sacking him just 4 games into it. So that's when you know that the management of Roma is just not there.
Yeah.
You got Maple Dave as well says Mexican GP time, guys. Good show and catch you later. Yeah, catch you later, my friend. Catch you later. Yeah, but like I said, I think today was definitely one of the craziest, entertaining games I've ever witnessed in my entire life.
Yeah.
And it's just like
Yeah.
wow.
This is one of those matches where if you're not a Serie A watcher, if you were
Yeah.
to watch this match, you would understand why Serie A is one of the biggest leagues in the world, because that was quite something.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no. Today definitely was probably like one of the craziest games, especially in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Like wow, like the emotions, it's just like unbelievable. Like at 4-2, I was just like closing my eyes because I didn't want to watch no more, and then I see you this, score those 2 spectacular goals, from his left foot, which
Yeah.
he's a righty. He's a righty, actually. I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I believe so. I
Yep.
believe so. Is he? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think he's a righty, but yeah, hey, look, I mean, the first 2 goals against Inter in the San Siro, hey,
Yes.
it's positive, it's positive, it's positive. So
No, I think it's definitely positive.
yeah,
I think for Juve, it's a positive result, and I think Inter almost got lucky to have taken a point, to have gotten a point out of that, because I think the way the game was going, I think Juve could have sealed all 3 points there.
yeah, no, not just that, but if I really think about it now, is that I'm actually glad that we actually have our injuries now than later in the season, because if we have those injuries later in the season, it could affect everything if we actually are progressing, and that is the biggest thing. We're gonna recuperate. I think Nico Gonzalez and Coop Miners in the beginning of November, so we'll have them for I think a couple of big games. So it's definitely gonna be a
Right.
good one. But Inter for you guys, I think Chananoglu comes back. I think next game, so you guys will be fine.
Yeah,
You
I
guys will be
hope
fine.
so. Yeah.
But man, you guys gotta need to figure out. I don't know what it is from last season to this season for you guys' like defense, but it's just been very shaky as we saw today. 4 open goals from Juventus. And
Yeah, no, no, totally, totally unacceptable. And I think Inter of last season would not have blown away a 4-2 lead. It's really concerning when a 4-2 lead, when I felt like a 4-2 lead wasn't enough to to seal the win.
yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I want to actually ask you another question. Is that if Inter didn't get those penalties and we still scored those 4 goals, tell me like what would your thoughts would be? Like, tell me because it's like, you know, I would say I don't know because it's just like you're creating chances, right? But if it wasn't for Danilo, right, that mess up, and I would say Kalulu too, right? But I think if Kalulu had a better partner defensively, like Gatti, I think you guys would be getting more. I think you guys would be getting flamed by probably Gazzetta dello Sport the next day. But I don't know. Like, tell me what do you think if it went different for you guys?
No, but I think Inter started off. I think Inter started off really well that match. They were on the front foot. The penalty definitely gave us a boost.
Yeah,
Definitely gave us a boost, and then I think especially the second penalty was very lucky. It was very lucky the second penalty. Not that because it wasn't a penalty, but just the way it happened. The Dumfries would have been off in an offside position had it not been for the deflection. Then the Kalulu tackles Dumfries a fraction of it, like literally a fraction of a second before the hits Dumfries' hand, and then like I don't know. There's just so many factors, and I felt like maybe like I just feel like that was a little bit lucky that the Inter managed to get out of the first half 3-2 up front 3-2.
yeah, no, I agree, and it's part of the game. Getting penalties is like that, But like I was saying, it's just that it's dangerous, especially like we were winning
For
two
sure.
one. We were winning 2-1. If those penalties didn't exist, I think that Juventus could have really closed the game out. But at the same time, it's like it's part of the game. Penalties are a part of the game. And like I said, I have to agree. I saw everything. These two were clear penalties. And whoever says that they were not a penalty, I'm sorry guys, but it's the truth. It's penalty for Inter for that one, guys. But like I was saying, definitely I would say both teams should be. I would say I think Juventus should be a little bit more proud in terms of
For
how we
sure.
played because we came down two, and I think it also gives us a little bit of an advantage. I would say because we went to the San Siro
Right. For
and we
sure.
drawed, that's I think one of the positives for Juventus. But um, what do you think about the positives about Inter? Like, what do you think is like the top pinpoints of the game for Inter?
I think I like the way we started both halves. I think the way we seen on the front, oftentimes at the beginning of the season, we were on the back, especially against in the Milan derby, like where we started off like horrendously. Like I think in a big match, Inter started off very strong. Uh, and I think we were quite clinical. We finished quite a few chances, but again, like there were so many other chances where we should have scored. So it's hard to find positives in a match where you're up 4-2 and you're just leaking goals. It's
Yeah,
just I just feel like it's unacceptable to blow a 4-2 lead in such a significant match where there's so much going on the line for the title race and trying to cover ground to catch up to Napoli.
yeah, no, I agree 100%. And not just that, but what are your thoughts about Chico Conceição? Because wow, wow! I have to say, one of the best performances from him this season as well.
Yeah, I think that was his best performance in a Bianconeri jersey since he arrived on loan from Porto. I think he clearly showed why Juventus brought him in, what qualities they saw in him. He's such a tricky winger to cope with. Really caused havoc for for the back line. Especially that second goal, the way he the dip of the shoulder to beat Mkhitaryan was just world class.
Yeah, no, I agree. And not just that, but you know, if we're looking back at the substitutions, what substitution do you think that was maybe a mistake by Inzaghi? Because I know that Inzaghi is known for some of his substitutions that he makes always a mistake or it's too late. So what do you think about that? About the substitutions?
I think the key one despised was Pavard for Bisa. He took Pavard off.
Mm.
He has Inzaghi. Whenever a player has a yellow card, he has a tendency of taking them off, and I think he he caused a lack. It ruined the balance of the game, taking off Pavard. Because I think that when Inter were playing so well in the second half, they were solid defensively. They were on the front foot, and they got the second goal. They got the goal to double their lead to make it 4-2. And I think at that moment, he should have let the game play out, but instead he decides to take off Pavard and put on Bisek. And if you look at both goals, Yildiz scored. They came on that flank where Bisek was on, and literally Dumfries and Bisek were just two of them were ball watching, and not one of them stuck to Yildiz and close the space. Because the thing with these technical wingers, if you give them space, they have that time and to process what to do next and to be able to exploit the space given and utilize the technical ability. Whereas if you close the space right away, they won't have time to react and beat you 1v1. And I think at that moment, Yildiz was just left all alone and managed to use the best of his attributes to capitalize on those occasions.
Yeah, no, I agree with that because it's like, using, especially with the substitution with Bisek, I think that will also change the game in terms of solidity from, I would say, Inter standpoint, defensively. That I
Yeah,
think that changed the game as well when Yildiz came on too. So definitely that was, I would say, Inzaghi's mistake. FS17, let's check the chat.
yeah,
FS17 says 8 goals in 90 minutes and it was full of ups and downs. Yeah, no, 100%.
literally, it was an emotional roller coaster to
Yeah,
say the very least.
yeah. We have a Grey Goose saying, "What a game!" Yeah, 100%. FS17, Danilo saved Inter. That's a lot. Like I said, it's a lot of controversies. It could be what if this, what if that. But listen, it's the name of the game. You start a player. If you don't see that he's not doing well at the start, which most of us should have saw that earlier.
For
You know,
sure.
I think, like I said, if he saw that earlier before that 4-2, maybe it would have been a different game. Maybe it would have been like a 3-3, maybe a 4-3. Maybe it could have been just maybe still a 3-2 for Inter. So it could be different many scores if that happened. But Forza Juve says that Chico is our best winger since Douglas Luiz. I agree with that. I agree with that. A healthy Chico Conceição, man. Like I said, he could take any player 1-on-1. He could destroy them. It's crazy. It's crazy. Well, and I say that's one of our biggest positive attacking signings that we did this summer and that was very smart. Very smart. I like that. Um, but your thoughts on the game overall? Like, what did you think about everything else from, like, I would say from the second half and on? What do you think after that point?
Well, the second half, I thought maybe both teams would try to regroup and resume back to their tactical plans, but instead it was rather the same. I mean, I didn't know how they would top off that second half, the first half after heading into the second 45, but both clubs managed to do so. From an entertainment point, it was great, but I think like from a tactical point, like it was just total chaos. It was
Yeah,
madness.
yeah, no, 100%. Because it's like, our defense is like, oh my god, like both of our defenses were like, forget about it. It's like, holy
Yeah.
crap, I couldn't believe it, and definitely was a shocking like display, I would say, from both sides.
No, no, nobody would have predicted this. It was
But I think
chaotic.
going into the next games, I think this would be better for confidence for Juventus instead of Inter,
Right.
because
No, totally.
and not just that, but you could also see it after the game, right? You saw probably like a Duram, like Lautaro. They were like, they were really, I would say, down after that performance, especially defensively. And Juventus was, I think, a little bit more of the happier ones, and I think that would be, I would say, the better. I would say that Juventus is going to take better from this game and into the next games, and hopefully we could finally score more goals, because that's been one of the biggest problem for Juventus this season.
Absolutely.
You know, what do you think Inzaghi needs to work on tactically for the next coming matches? I'm not sure who Inter is playing in the next matches, but it's going to be probably against probably a couple bigger teams. But what do you think tactically? You think he's been doing
Yeah.
good tactically?
So now coming up, Inter are gonna play Venezia. Inter is gonna play Empoli, Venezia,
Mm.
Arsenal, and then the big game against Napoli. And I think
Ooh.
definitely like we Inzaghi needs to figure out this defensive issue where so many goals are being conceded because if Inter keep conceding goals this frequently, there's no way they're gonna challenge for this Scudetto, especially against Conte. If we were to play like this against Antonio Conte,
Oh man.
we're gonna get eaten alive with Lukaku and Kvaratskhelia, a well orchestrated team like that. There's no chance you're gonna get a point out of this out of a
Yeah.
match against such a fantastic Napoli side so far. But I
Yeah.
think definitely defensively, trying to find defensive structure and a balance in transition between the midfield and the defense.
Yeah.
That's I think the tactical focal point that needs to be addressed.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree, and it's gonna be, I would say, for even Mota too. I mean, I think what Mota can do tactically is, I would say, be quicker in the transitions when
Yeah,
and I think that's what we saw a little bit better today was in the transitions from when we're transitioning from defensive to attacking. We've actually did very well today on that, and I praise Mota for that, and I praise that we didn't give up. We actually had that Fino alla fine spirit, which I liked.
no, definitely, a lot of character in there. And it seemed like at a certain extent that Juve wanted it more than Inter, and the Nerazzurri just let it out of their hands. I think towards the end.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. And we actually have a couple more comments in the chat. Let's read them. And we have FS17 says Conceição doesn't give up. He ran from the first minute to last minute. Yeah, and that's what I like about Conceição. He has that grinta in him. He has that like energy. He gives you that spark. And I haven't seen that spark since Federico Chiesa, since he
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
from prime Federico Chiesa, 2020 Euro, 2020 Chiesa, you know that, like, I haven't seen that since then. And every time that he got the ball, like, I was like, oh my god, like every time, because it's like, because me and my dad were watching the game, and he was like, no way, like, no way, Conceição, come on, Conceição, and because he loves Conceição now, because ever since he came, because we watched him at Porto as well, because I saw him play. He's really really good player. So definitely, I think he's going to be the future of this Juventus, and definitely I would say Yildiz too. Yildiz played a good game. I would say Weah did okay. He did good leading up to the goal that he scored, but other than that, I think we all could say that we I think both teams can say shake hands on a tie, honestly.
Yeah,
Even
pretty
though
much.
even though I think if there was like a little more time, who knows what it could be, because I would say like and what my concern was, Julian, was the last couple of minutes, like the last 10 minutes, Juventus was dominating a lot of the play, and we're actually pushing Inter into their own half. If we had a couple of minutes,
Yeah, no,
it could have been like either a penalty or something, because like I said, we were just pushing you guys back into your own half. And do you think that
yeah.
would have been that's a worrying sign, especially going into the next games, especially against Empoli? Empoli is a good, strong team, I'll say, right now.
Yeah, no, Empoli is definitely one of the surprise packages this season. It's not going to be easy. Even Napoli struggled to score against them. They won 1-0 off a penalty, so it's a really difficult team to break down. For sure. No, definitely. I think if there were a couple more minutes, I think Juve could have potentially got the winner. I honestly wouldn't have been surprised if Juve got the winning goal to make it 5-4 because. The momentum was clearly on their side, and Inter just kept backpedaling, and
Yeah,
yeah, almost
yeah,
got caught in their own zone there.
yeah. What after that 4-4, it was kind of reminding me of the time when Juventus won against Inter 3-2 with the Higuain goal.
Yes, that's exactly
That
what I
was that. It
yeah.
was kind of me after that Yildiz goal. It was kind of giving me those kind of vibes of like, okay, now can we get that winner? Can we actually get that fino alla fine? Until the end. Thing. And we did. I would say get a fino alla fine, but it's not in terms of a win for Juventus. But listen, I'll take a draw anytime against the current defending champions right now.
For
So
sure.
I'll take anything right now for that. But I'm really happy with the performance, I'll say, from those two goals down from Juventus, and I think that's a positive that we're gonna go forward. But for Inter's positive, what do you think about the positives for Inter?
Uh, Positives. I mean, I think definitely the offensively scoring 4 goals is essential. Also, different sources. I mean, even though Zelensky scored from the spot, we did solely rely too much on Turam and Lautaro. I think that was the main problem last year. Was the main concern was lacking goals outside of the two forwards, but. Uh, Today we saw Lautaro and Thuram not on the score sheet, but rather other players contributing in that aspect, which I think was one of the main positives. But there's still quite a lot of work that needs to be done. And it's a very long season, the longest season we've ever seen. With the Champions League being reformed, to the Club World Cup being added to the end of the year,
Yeah.
there's still plenty up for grabs. So there's a lot of work. There's a lot of time for Inzaghi to address these issues defensively.
Yeah, and Julian, what do you think about the Club World Cup? Do you think that there's too many games? Because I actually feel like there's too many games.
Far too many games, especially
Yeah,
with the Champions League now being reformed. The Champions League started earlier. It's just way too many, far too many games. Uh, I think this was one of the main topics prior to the season, prior to the season commencing. If there's just too many games, how it's going to affect the quality of the league and everything. At the end of the day, they're human beings, and it's just hard to. They're not machines, They're human beings, and it's crazy how many games they're playing within such a short amount of time.
yeah, no, I agree 100%. And I liked how both teams played, but I want to see what they do against Napoli now, especially
Yeah,
with the momentum. I hope that you guys would take a little bit of points. Listen, I don't, in my opinion, right now, I just don't like Napoli. I just don't. I just plain don't like Napoli right now. So, I don't know what it is. It's just that there's so many Neapolitans that are just bashing Juventus, and now they're gonna be bashing Inter too because of we tied and stuff like that. So you know, like I said,
yeah,
I don't need I don't need to see another Napoli Scudetto, please. No more. No more.
yeah.
No
No,
more.
the true winner of the game today was Antonio Conte.
Oh
He
yeah.
was happy. He's happy for sure. 4 points ahead of Inter, five ahead of Juventus. But now uh, there's still pivotal games to play. He has Milan and then Inter in 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks. So there's still plenty to play for. So we'll see how it all plays out. There's still time for definitely. I think this could ultimately these next couple of weeks could possibly decide the title race for sure.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. Especially like after the performance today, I hope Juventus, I hope that Juventus take this big, reaction and actually, start scoring more goals because we've been lacking that. But also, you know, how are we going to stop this Napoli? That's my question as well. How are we going to stop this Napoli? And we're going to get into Napoli now because it's like, they're 4 points, ahead of you guys, 5 points ahead of us. They're gonna have to lose to you guys and possibly Milan. So I don't know. I don't know yet because it's like Conte's winning every game that's in front of him right now. So like
Yeah,
I don't know. I really don't know.
yeah. When Conte has one game a week and has one competition to focus on, it helps. It's his. This is Conte's specialty,
Yeah,
winning the league title in these situations. When he has he's a master at preparing for matches. When he has such a long period of time ahead to uh, to prepare his team to set up the blueprints per se. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
yeah. No, I agree 100%. Especially like with everything that's happening now, especially with the tie now, right? And they're gonna be going into confidence in the next couple of games because they know that they're 5 points ahead and 4 points ahead of
For
both our
sure.
teams. So I think that in order for Inter to really, I would say, be a contender, I mean they are, but in order to really challenge Napoli, because I think that you guys are going to be more of a challengers than Juventus, because I think Juventus is more of a still a rebuilding stage. We're still in the process of becoming that superior team, which I think in the long run we will be. Um, but I think the only way to stop it is to get rid of Lukaku, man. What are your thoughts on Lukaku for Napoli so far?
No, as soon as Conte snatched Lukaku and reunited with him, I knew that Lukaku would do wonders. It's such a, I think it's arguably the best player coach duo we've ever witnessed. It's truly remarkable.
Yeah, yeah, no,
uh,
I agree. Ever since he got, Lukaku, it's just been like win, 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 and in the Juventus game tie, but win mostly wins. And whenever he's really coming off, like he came off against a couple other again games, Napoli that weren't the same team. So
yeah,
I think if you take out a guy like that, maybe take out a couple of guys, like that, then this Napoli could be a little bit more, to reality, brought down to reality. But let's read a couple more comments. We have FS17 says, "What happened to Lautaro Martinez? He flung a whole shot up." Oh yeah, yeah. I remember from I think it was like that corner kick. The ball was brought down and Lautaro tried to volley it and it went over the crossbar. Yeah, that's how
yeah. Like you see that he should have like. There's just so many opportunities where he
yeah.
should have finished those. He should have finished those opportunities to just close the game off, make it 5-2, and yeah, would have been
Yeah.
3 points.
Yeah, so we got Angel in the chat. Ciao, Angel. Angel says, "I'm very happy with how much this channel has grown." Yeah, I mean, listen, we're growing every day. Lots of new people are subscribing. Lots of Juventini, some Interisti, some Milanisti. So I'm happy. I'm happy with how the channel's growing, and I love doing content for everybody, and love having also special guests like you, Julian, on the show as well. It makes me happy as well. So, um, yeah. Also, Angel says, and Juventus too as a club. Angel says, I feel like Juventus will do good. Trust me. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's all about our reaction in next games because we haven't been as convincing the last couple games. But listen, we take this as a positive. We will take this as a positive more than a negative because we could have lost the game. So definitely there. Angel says there's many good players on the team. I would say both teams. Yeah, both teams. Both definitely. Positive
For sure.
positive players that they have. DiMarco is probably one of the, best players on Inter in my opinion. Cambiasso for us. What are your thoughts on Cambiasso actually today?
I thought he played really well. I thought he posed a threat for out wide for sure. But again, I think the standout players for me were Conceição and obviously Yildiz
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, no, 100%. Barella, nothing really from Barella besides that shot, that deflected shot. Remember in that big Di Gregorio save, which that was
Yeah, I have to say, speaking of Di Gregorio, what a match he! Although he let in
yeah.
4 goals, some of those had it not been for some of those saves, I think Inter would have won the match. So he
Yeah.
really kept them in there for sure.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. And definitely, like I said, people were saying, "Oh, I remember because I was watching another guy's stream. I was actually watching a Beppe stream, if you know him.
Beppe,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I was watching his stream, and I saw a couple of Juventini, and they're saying, "Di Gregorio out, Perin." And guys, come on, it's Di Gregorio's like first match in like 2 games, and he's actually done. In my opinion, he's done spectacular today. He was really good, really good. So, what about Summer? What do you think about Summer? Summer, I think, was also good too.
I don't know. I don't think he did. He even make a save. Like I don't know if he made a save today. Like it was weird.
I
Like
think Sal, he took a shot and he saved that one. I'm not sure if there's other big saves that he made.
it seems like he barely made. He only made one. He only made one save today.
Wow.
One one save.
Yeah. So
So
actually, yeah, no, Summer didn't do as good as Di Gregorio did, but because he did let in, I would say that Yildiz goal, the second one, that was a little bit of a
no,
surprising.
I'm so yeah. I mean, then not nothing taken away from
Yeah.
Yildiz, but Summer had to do better
Yeah.
there. Like he it was far too. Yeah, it was a bit of a howler from him for sure.
Yeah, the only thing I would say for Di Gregorio here is that he has to do better on that. I would say that one penalty kick where he was like this close on getting it, like against Zelinski. The second one,
Yeah, yeah.
maybe the Dumfries one as well. That one he should have been a little bit more would at least try to get it, But man, what are you gonna do when that happens? But I would say that positives, definitely do not start Danilo again. Do not start Danilo
That's one
again.
of the takeaways.
Like
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like if Mota puts Danilo in the next game, I'm probably just gonna like turn off the TV and not even watch the game because it's like, come on. It's obvious that he's definitely like. Do you think he's the biggest problem in the back for Juventus so far?
Yeah, no, that was a horrible day in the office
Yeah.
for him.
Yeah, no, I couldn't believe it, and not just that, but a player that has been actually admired a little bit, the past couple seasons under Allegri's, team, especially, he plays, in my opinion, he plays better in a back three than a back four,
Yeah, for sure, for
and
sure.
tactically, as soon as I, watched Motta's playing with Bologna, I was like, yeah, he's not gonna fit Motta's system, so, um, what are your thoughts about Juventus being linked with Skriniar? Because I wanted to ask you that as well. What are your thoughts
Oh
about that?
yeah, that's obviously it stings. Loved Skriniar. I think he was one of my favorite players at Inter. Solid defensively. I feel a bit betrayed, but I think it would be a great. I think it would be an interesting move for Juventus. They're in a bit of a crisis defensively.
Yeah.
Need uh, a, an additional defender following the injury of Bremer. Also, one defender that could play out the back as well. It helps. It's within their advantage that Skriniar is struggling for playing time at Paris Saint Germain. So it would be interesting. It would definitely be interesting to see. Uh, Not a
Yeah.
big fan of it, of course, as an Interista, but for the league and for what it could bring towards the title race, it would be interesting.
Yeah, no, because I've been saying this. If we get Skriniar, I think we're gonna be better defensively because I feel like that.
Absolutely, yeah.
I feel like that he knows the Serie A. He has won the Serie A before. He won the Scudetto with Inter, right? He knows, defensive style, right? And I think he's also. I would say that he's a little bit. He's also good on the ball. You know,
Yeah.
in my opinion, he reminds me of like a Bremer 2.0 because of how physical and strong he could be. He is on the ball. And I think that could be an advantage to Juventus if we get him. Same thing goes with supposedly there's rumors of Xerxes going from Manchester
Yes.
United to Juventus. So what are your thoughts on that too?
I think that's definitely one way to help the lack of goals being scored. I think one thing that Juventus definitely lack is like a solid replacement for Vlahovic when he's off and not playing a good game.
Mm-hmm.
We need somebody to come on the field to make that difference up top, and I think he would be great. Already familiar with the league, has blistering pace, strong technical ability, to a profile that's very dangerous within the Serie A. Like we saw in the last season with Bologna, he had his breakout season. So
Yeah.
I think it would definitely be interesting to see what he could do. And he worked under Thiago Motta too, so like it would be really good. They're already used to each other. He's quite familiar with the system, so I could
Yeah.
see great things happening with them two reuniting.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that. Who do you think that Inter need from the transfer market? Do you think that Inter should go after anybody? Do you think because I don't really follow that much on Inter transfer news that much. So I mean, like judging from your sources that like who do you think Inter should get?
Well, I mean, it's a bit tough. I don't think Inter are gonna have a crazy transfer market in January unless players get sold. I think the team will remain as is, but definitely next summer, one of the issues that needs to be addressed is a center back or either a center back and an actual a proper holding midfielder. I think. In terms of regards to the back line, I think Acerbi and De Vrij are both heading towards the decline, especially De Vrij. He seems pretty much finished, worn out. So I think a central defender within the back three would be important. And
Yeah.
an additional midfielder. I think to serve as I don't know what's going to happen with Çalhanoğlu next year. What Inter will do if they will sell him. He's only getting older, and I could see them eventually wanting to make a profit off of him. As much as it would hurt me to see him leave, because I think he's arguably the best midfielder in the Serie A. I think eventually Inter want to make profits off of him, considering his tremendous growth since joining Inter, and given that we signed him for free from Milan. So I think a midfielder would be important, especially also because Aslani has been quite underwhelming since joining from Empoli. I mean, it's 3 years since he's been with us, and he hasn't proven to reach the heights that the Inter board expected him to reach. So yeah, and
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. With that as well, with Çalhanoğlu being injured, definitely is going to be, I would say, you know, he's one of the vital players, this season for you guys.
yeah,
And, I think that, yes, you guys have Aslani, but I think you guys do need a better regista definitely to help you guys with I would say the coming years as well, because, I know
for
Çalhanoğlu is
sure.
also getting older as well. So
Yeah.
definitely probably won't be as at his best in the next couple of years. So definitely good on that. But other than that, um, you know, because since we do have a Milanista here, let's talk about a little bit about let's talk about a little bit about Milan, because Milan versus I'm not sure. Wait, who are they versing this weekend? Let me see.
Well, they were supposed to play Bologna, but it got
Oh yeah,
postponed.
they got postponed, so we don't know. Like I said, so now they verse Napoli. Ooh, that's a game. There you go. Midweek.
Yeah.
So that's going to be definitely interesting. Very interesting. Going into that one, who do you think is possible to win? Do you think that Milan? Do you think Napoli?
I don't know. I mean, I think definitely Napoli are the favorites to win, but I don't know why. I'm feeling a Fonseca masterclass again. Just like,
Yeah, I have a feeling
just,
too. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like when his back is against the wall, he somehow manages to pull through him. Like literally everything was on the line against Inter. Like everybody expected him. There were even question marks about him being sacked even before the game, and yet he still managed to pull through and not just win the match. Like tactically outplay Inzaghi and his Inter. So.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I'm just, oh my gosh, Fiorentina is 3-1 up against Roma.
Yeah, I was just
Wow,
gonna say 3-1
wow.
Fiorentina versus Roma. Yeah,
Moise Keane with the two
more scheme.
goals. Wow, wow. Man, I'm telling you,
Bove got
Roma.
the Bove got the assist from being
Oh my
practically
god.
shipped out of Roma. He got an assist
Wow.
against his former club.
Wow. That is very embarrassing. That's embarrassing because it's like, you go from, Roma, you get kicked out, and then all of a sudden now you're just like proving the haters wrong and proving all those
Yeah,
Romanisti wrong. And just making a nice assist to Moise Keane. But, one thing I'm noticing is that did we make a mistake on Moise Keane? I think so. Because of, I think he would have been a good backup striker. He's very aggressive up front, especially for now. Because Milik has been injured, and I think he's going to be injured till like December. So,
yeah.
not looking good in terms of that. But,
I mean, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough because how would have Moise Keane played under Thiago Motta? We'll never know. But
Yeah,
I
never know.
think this move was necessary for his growth, and I think this is the best version of Moise Keane that we've seen ever, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The way he played against Milan, and for me, particularly the one display was against Milan, and he
Oh
was an
yeah.
absolute beast up top. And even I'm not watching this game, but he seems to be doing really well. He scored 2 goals. So.
Yeah. No,
But I
I
think
agree.
this move to Fiorentina was necessary for within his career to mature and become a proper striker. Now he's even got to the spot back in the national team under Spalletti. So
Yeah.
it's nice to see.
Yeah. Talking about the national team, what are your thoughts about the national team after the disappointing Euros as well? So what are your thoughts about that?
I think I'm glad that we're finally shifting towards some of the younger players. Seeing Pizzilli, Daniele Maldini. I think Italy has a strong youth team. We see it countless numerous times in the under 21, under 19, even the under 17. We make it far. We make it we go pretty much go almost all the way in these youth tournaments, but yet some of these players never get a chance to display that in the first team. And so yeah, definitely thrilled. We seem to be doing pretty well in Nations League. We beat France. Drew to Belgium, unfortunately, in a match where we shouldn't have. We should be blown the lead. But no, I think definitely we're starting to see uh, Spalletti's true philosophy and his ideas in fruition so far. I think we're seeing also the rise of a lot of young players like Samuel Ricci, who's been pivotal for this team. Tonali as well has been instrumental since coming back, and yeah, Retegui, absolute monster.
Yeah.
Not only for I think Retegui under Gasperini is really paying dividends, not just for Atalanta but also for the Italian national team as well.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, like, he's been growing, especially under Gasperini, and I think that's the perfect place to go if you're a young striker. You know, you go to Gasperini, especially the way that they play. Definitely, I
Yeah,
would say for him to go there and to to score goals like that is definitely going to be promising for the Italian national team going into the World Cup, in 2026. So it's definitely going to
yeah,
be interesting. It's going to be
yeah. I think
interesting.
that was the best transfer of the season so far. Like for me, that's the best transfer of the season, and it's truly paying off. He has 10 goals this season. He scored a brace against was who did they play against this week? Verona, I think
Verona,
six
yeah,
one against
six
Verona.
one.
He scored 2 goals, and so he's on trending to become a Campo Capaniere. So it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be interesting, and let's do a big shout out, like, again, and you guys go follow Cacho Julian on Twitter, everybody. So like I said, just type it in on Twitter, guys, and you'll find his account. Because, guys, I'm telling you right now, guys, definitely, I'm telling you, everybody, go follow him, because definitely get all your news around everything. You guys will get his reactions. You get everything on Twitter as well. And I'm not sure, there's other socials. Do you have Julian? You probably have Instagram.
Yeah, Insta, same thing. I think the handle is at Calcio Julian. Yeah.
Yeah, yep. So, guys, Coucho with Julian right there for Instagram as well. So yeah, no, Julian. I mean, I agree. With everything that's been happening. With Spalletti. With Ricci, I think has been probably one of the best. Youngsters, I think, to be playing, and he's been playing very well. Pisili as well. Glad to see him. What are your thoughts about Daniel Maldini?
Maldini's interesting. I think it's one of the most technical. It's interesting because it's a midfielder. It's a profile of a midfielder we haven't seen for some time. Very offensively strong, technically, um, exuberant, lots of energy, and I think like that's what the Italian national team needs. And he proved that he played a pivotal role in one of the goals against uh, Israel. Yeah, he came off the bench and was part of the build up within one of the goals. So I think it was Fratesi's goal. So yeah,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah. That's definitely, like I said, Fratesi has been, I would say, good in terms of providing those goals as well, because I think he's been like one of our top goal scorers in the Italian national team.
yeah, I think he is. Yeah,
Yeah, and it's, it says a lot, especially if our strikers are not scoring. But I think, when time goes on, I think Retegui is definitely going to be
for sure.
vital for this team. But yeah, I mean, any other thoughts about all, the couch show? Any other thoughts about the Inter Juventus game that we actually witnessed today?
I
Any other
think we
thoughts?
pretty much we covered pretty much everything
Yeah,
between the what was expected, what actually happened, the tactical viewpoints, the coaches selection, and
yeah,
how they reacted towards the game. I think we pretty much covered everything.
yeah.
To be
No, yeah,
fair.
yeah. So, guys, that's all of your match reactions for today's game as well. I will be doing a video soon. I actually am in the process of doing a video for the channel of my reaction to the game and what we need to do going forward as well tactically. There'll be also a tactical video, which I'm actually in the process of doing. So I'm actually doing two videos. So trying to get the content out there for everybody. And more streams. And Julian, like I said, thank you for having, I'm actually, great that you came on today. Thank you for coming on today.
Oh no, the
And
pleasure's
yeah,
mine, Gio. Anytime. Thank you for having me. It was great, especially after the match. Such a beautiful game. It was great to break it all down with you.
yeah, no, I agree, and not just that, but we'll do another stream again, especially when Inter comes in versus us again. We'll do another stream like that. We'll do like a, but that time we'll do a pregame and a post match. So we do two streams, me and you
For
together.
sure, man.
And
Let me know.
also,
We'll do
yeah,
it.
and not just that, but also I do want to invite you to another stream. Maybe possibly maybe next week. I'm trying to organize. We'll get like a Milan fan here. We get like a Interista. We get maybe two Juventini, and we'll talk about Calcio as a whole. We won't just talk about
Yeah, that'd be
Juventus. That'd
great.
be
The
fun.
four-way convo could be cool. Yeah,
Yeah, no, I would love it because definitely it will be really something for sure. To have just all different good types of opinions from different teams, and also sources, right, of especially during the mercato too. We should do like a mercato video together, so that'll be cool too.
for sure, for
Yeah,
sure.
so like I said, thank you again, Julian, for joining me today. It was a pleasure. And guys, like I said, that is it from the Juve Corner cast, and we'll see you on the next stream, possibly this midweek. And stay tuned for the videos. And yeah, everybody, thank you for joining. Ciao, everybody, and fino alla fine, forza Juventus. Ciao tutti.